Um, yeah, I think first half I thought we did very well. I think maybe a slightly nervous opening to the game. I thought with 10 minutes we were maybe a bit too deep. But then I thought we started to get to grips with things and well, we produced a very good performance up until the moment when Fabian scored. Really, I thought we'd frustrated them. We'd controlled the areas that they'd hurt us with the ball, and yeah, hugely disappointed to go in at 1-1 because bar a few nervy moments, as I say at the start, I thought we'd controlled them.
Is it the nature of the goals that probably might disappoint you the most? How you conceded them?
Yeah, I think the key goal is the second goal. I think the manner of it, from our perspective, was really disappointing, especially so close to half time, and we needed to feel our way into the second half. We didn't allow ourselves to do that, and I think then we chased the game in a. It depends which way you look at it. In a very aggressive way, and probably played in a way that we shouldn't have done. You know, we became very expansive. We took risks with the ball, and too early in the game to do that, and then we got punished by a top level team. You know, some of the goals they scored on transitions were very good from our perspective. Obviously, not so good. But I think it was with the ambition to try and get back into the match, and I felt we didn't manage that part of the game very well at all.
3 defeats in a row now. How crucial is it to get the side back on track with 3 home games in a row coming up? Crucial period for you?
Massive period coming up for us. I think we were well aware that this run of games we've had and we've just exited out of was a very difficult spell for us. A lot of away games in succession, and it's you know, coming to grounds like this, you know that they're very difficult matches. So we were pleased to return home where our form's been pretty good. But we know we have a massive spell, as you say. Games where we need to maximise. We need the crowd and the stadium united, and need to make the atmosphere as intense as we can for our opponents. But because this is going to be a massive spell that really will go a long way to dictating our fate this season. Thank you.
In the front there.
He was ill.
Chris Waff on the left-hand side.
Your team's form has really been built on its defensive solidity so far this year, and obviously you haven't conceded more than 1 goal at the beginning of 2022 until the second half of the season. So how do you explain what happened between the second half? Why do you think that solidity is so resilient?
Yeah, I just felt we chased the game far too early. We became very, very expansive. You know, we were taking risks in areas that we shouldn't have done, and I think it was in our desire to get back into the game. But you know, we had a long time of that second half to chase the game and to find a goal. But we committed too many men forward. So I'm being careful not to go too over the top in my criticism. It's a great mentality to have. But we needed to be smarter, because transitions against, you know, when you've got Son and Kane lying just behind you, you turn the ball over. We were far too open, and you could see that as much as I could, but it was in our desire to try and chase the game.
Miles Starforth.
Yeah, his injury is healing. It's not totally healed. So yeah, I think that's where it is. I think we will be able to start pushing him, not maybe as quickly as we initially wanted to, but I still think he will come back this season. But again, there's no definite date on that, but he's making good progress.
Lee Ryder.
I think in December you were probably accepted with 8 games to go the situation you're in. So I guess the key is not to get too low on this one.
Yeah, very much so. I think that's an important thing for me and for the team and for everyone connected with the club, because you know, these results can happen against the quality of opposition we were playing today. That's not to say that my expectations of the team aren't high, which they are, and I've made that very clear to the players. But I don't think there's any point going hard or negative in any direction. I think we have to be very positive. I think we have to focus on what's to come. And what's to come is an absolutely key week for us ahead. And as you say, we're we're in a position that maybe we didn't expect to be in. But hopefully this, if there is a positive to come from today, it's just a little jolt and a reminder that we can't get ahead of ourselves at all. We can't think we're better than we are in this current moment. We have to fight and battle for every point, and we have to earn those points, and they won't be given to us.
Luke Edwards and then the gentleman on the front row.
Maybe answered quite a lot of what I was going to ask there, but is it a result and performance that needs refocused mind? I mean, you said before the game that you're still in a relegation battle, for example. That probably emphasises the fact today that you are.
It does, yeah, it does, and there was no doubt that was ever the case in my mind, but you don't know what our players are feeling and thinking. You know, that's a different thing. I can't control how they think, but I think today will serve as that we have a lot of work ahead of us. We need to be very calm, but then use the pain of today in our next games and get the stadium absolutely rocking, but deliver the performances that have made the difference for us. The type of solid, aggressive running that we've become accustomed to, we didn't really see today, and we have to get that back.
On the front row.
Thank you. Just looking at the attacking side of things, so Maximum, Wood and Fraser. Wood came off early today, 70 minutes. How do you assess the way your front three has come together since that signing in January, and how they're going to perform going forward?
Well, they're going to be hugely important for us. I think it was a difficult one today for Chris. He's had 4 games away, a lot of travelling, so that's why we withdrew him today, just to keep him in a good physical condition. Those games today against the opposition we were playing are difficult for our front players. They got minimal ball. I thought Maxi was a real threat whenever he got the ball today. So I think he can be pleased. Ryan, in the first half, I thought again was a threat on transition. So now back the players. I know we've got enough quality to score goals. That wasn't the issue today.
John on the front.
You said just then about being in a position maybe that you didn't expect to be in, maybe back in December. I wonder what kind of impact has that had, because you know there was so much pressure on the situation you were in down at the bottom of the table, and you've gone on a run that's kind of pulled you away from it. So I wondered how's that kind of affecting almost the mentality that when you pull away from something, maybe many people thought you were already safe.
That's a difficult one because I can only speak for myself, and my standards are very high. I'm very driven every day to try and give my best for the team, for the club, and in every match I want to win. I've got no other way of thinking or working. So from my perspective, today hurts, and I'm sure my players feel the same way. So regardless of what run we've been on and where we are, we expect better than we delivered, especially in that second period. So it's a time for reflection on that, but very much looking at what's ahead.
Jordan Cronin.
Yeah, I thought it was a difficult game to come into because at that moment we were still chasing the game, and as I said earlier, I don't think we chased it very well. We weren't efficient with what we were doing, so I thought it was a difficult game to come into because the rhythm of our game had gone. I didn't select him to start with because I wanted to revert to the midfield that had served us so well with the 9-game unbeaten run, and the fact that he hadn't been training with us and wasn't able to prepare in the same way that the other players had. So there's a couple of different angles to look at it.
We've got Scott Wilson and then Kieran Kelly.
Kelly, I accept that in the second half the game only really got away from you when you were chasing, but against the bigger teams in particular, is getting that balance of attack and defence still a little bit of a challenge, and you know, hitting on the right kind of formula for that?
Yeah, I think it's always a delicate balance. I think you've got to try and get it right. I thought we did in the first half. We still posed a threat. We had some nice moments of play around their box. I thought we were solid defensively, and we controlled their big players pretty well, I thought. You're never going to control it perfectly because of the quality that they have. But the minute we chased the game, the minute we went behind, we changed totally what we were doing, and I think that played into their hands, not ours.
Kieran.
No, I obviously spoke. Players, I think it's very careful. You've got to be very careful because everyone's very emotional, and I think things can be said that maybe aren't helpful. So no, I spoke. I think that's the way it should be. I'll always encourage the players if they want to speak to each other. The minute I leave the dressing room, that can happen. But I think it was important my message got through.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, lads. Thank you.